1, 2.
1, 2. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, play-by-play, Mike. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Color commentary. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Maybe try and adjust your mic a little soon. Yeah, can you guys talk?
Todd.
Hey, Todd.
Just test.
Yep. This is Todd. Play-by-play. Play-by-play, Todd. Play-by-play, Todd. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test.
We're in Chicago here for the first time, new venue.
Place is absolutely beautiful. We're in this gorgeous park right here on the water. Couldn't be happier. Can't wait to get the boats out there.
Chicago's exciting because it hasn't been done in so long.
First time I think this race has been here in about 15 years.
Being a huge sports town, you know, the legacy with everybody.
We grew up watching Michael Jordan and the Bulls. I feel like offshore boat racing now is far superior than what the NBA has to offer. All together coming to this new venue, and it's kind of cool to have a big city in the background and something different.
We're racing on fresh water. Fresh water is not as forgiving as salt water. It's harder.
It can just pick you up and drop you like a hot potato.
This is a crazy lake. It's huge, it's deep, it's cold, and a lot of boats have gone down here.
I stand alone, can't get much higher. It's in my bones, a true survivor.
What a better place to win in a city like this and possibly stamp our names with some of the greats.
The wait's over. Time to go racing. Chicago Grand Prix presented by X Insurance.
The sun is shining here in Chicago as we get back to racing off the Windy City. Todd and Eric back with you to call today's final day of racing, the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. We're glad to be with you here at the X Insurance YouTube channel, as well as Race World Offshore's YouTube channel and Facebook page for two exciting races today, Supercat and Pro Class 1. We'll also see the factory stock team of GC Racing running with the Supercats today, which is going to be quite interesting. So it's warm today. We had a little bit of cloud cover yesterday, little chilly in the morning. Today it's nice and sunny, approaching 80 degrees right now, Eric. And the wind is relatively light. It's coming across Lake Michigan at about 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have calmer conditions today. You're not going to see especially boats of this size, get the air that some of the boats were getting yesterday. And I think we're going to see some fast times. Especially that sweeping turn at the one end of the course.
Yeah, the east end of the course. The Supercats are doing 7 laps here to start. They'll be our first race of the day. And again, as we mentioned, our lone factory stock boat, it can be quite interesting to see that boat run with the Cats in Supercat class because they're close in size. They actually have a wider tunnel, and with the 500R pairing on those boats, they're very close in speed to Supercats.
Yeah, there might be a situation though, because we're down to basically the second to the last race of the national points champion. They may stay out of the way so as not to impede on the competition in the Supercat class. But I would love to see them go up there and try to test it just to see what the comparison is like, because that's what a lot of people have talked about in the last couple of years since the factory stock class was introduced.
They thought it would definitely have comparative speeds to the Supercats. Of course, the Supercat class are the loud, naturally aspirated engines, no fuel injection allowed, Holley-style carbureted engines with the 66-inch tunnel. These big catamarans in the 38 to 40-foot range have different engine manufacturers.
Yeah.
We have Sterling, we have Goodwin Racing engines, Hamilton, as well as Pee Wee Racing engines. The T Custom Marine boat raced yesterday. They have their engines in these boats. So different engine manufacturers, but the specifications for the engines are all the same.
Yeah, they have parameters they have to stick to, and it's just, kind of good old-fashioned loud B-block.
Supercats can...
Poly 4-barrel, MSD ignition.
That's right.
Get creative within the guidelines of the rules and see what they come up with.
These boats weigh 9,500 pounds, and again, they're going to make quite a bit of noise. Some of them use tractor pipes and enhance the sound of those engines, which is it really ignites the fans' interest.
Yeah, the pipes that you see coming straight out of the engine, top of the engine hatch, are the loudest ones. So it's a great sound when they come by, especially when it starts reverberating off the seawall. And
so Supercats will be out first, and then later on the Pro Class 1 teams will be racing a 12-lap race. And so those are two races coming up today in the X Insurance Chicago Nationals, right here from the X Insurance Sports YouTube channel and Race World Offshore YouTube channel. So Maximum Inflation is our presenting sponsor of all live stream coverage. The new Maximum Quick Tire Inflation Kit by Maximum Inflation is the only U.S.-made valve that uses CO2 cartridges for your side-by-side, motorcycle, or ATV. Your machine got you there. The Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit gets you home. So we're glad to have you back with us here. And right now, let's go take a break. We'll be back with Supercat Racing here from Chicago right after this.
Your machine got you here, and the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit will get you home. This compact tire filling kit comes with over 200 grams of CO2 for filling your motorcycle, side-by-side, and ATV tires. No batteries, no disappointment. The only US-made CO2 valve.
Back with Todd and Eric with the X Insurance Chicago.
Your machine got you.
Thanks for joining us as we're wrapping up the World Powerboat Race Association season with Race World Offshore's final races. We'll move on to Clearwater for the X Insurance Nationals, which are at the end of September. And of course, the biggest race of them all, the Key West World Championships, the first week of November in its 44th year. Eric, we had racing yesterday. We're about 10 minutes away from the Supercats coming out and starting their run today. Yesterday, a full action of qualifying. Of course, exciting qualifying in Pro Class 1. X Insurance South was the winner of the race. They had some trouble, couldn't qualify yesterday. They started on the outside, but they were the fastest boat of the day in the racing.
Yeah, they had a very good run after they found out they had some rudder bolts that had broken off. So they took care of it. Very good, efficient team. And it certainly didn't show any signs of causing any kind of problem when they did get out on the race course. And then, unfortunately, their sister ship, X Insurance North,
Navy commercial?
had 1100 had transmission issues with both of its engines. Mercury uses the Velvet Drive transmission with the 1100, and they replaced them both. So they're ready to go for today. And
Supercat Racing, it was 6 laps yesterday, and they had a good race, but Dirty Money was the fastest boat out there. Gradell took second place, and CR Racing took third place.
Yeah, good to see CR Racing get the finish. They, their new engine program with the Pee Wee Performance engines, and a couple of strange gremlins got them early, and but they finished the race, got on the podium, and they're hoping for more today.
All right, more coming up. Supercats will get started here shortly. We'll recap the bracketed class races when we come back. More from the X Insurance Chicago Nationals right here in the Windy City once again. Got you back here in Chicago for today's Supercat races and Pro Class 1 races. Second day here in the Windy City. Recapping action again from yesterday. Of course, you just saw some footage from the sights and sounds at Navy Pier last night. A big party with the action from the Saturday race at Navy Pier down at the beer garden. A lot of fun. So much to do here in Chicago as we continue our coverage here from the Porte Products Broadcast Center. Porte Products builds the ultimate outboard transom lift system, boasting horsepower capacities of 1,000 horsepower per engine and carrying up to 1,500 pounds of weight per engine. Let us build one for you. Go to porteproducts.com. So bracketed action was hot and heavy here yesterday as we look down into the wet pits, the boats being dropped into the water here near the Corinthian Yacht Club. But boy, as always, as we warn everybody, when you watch bracketed class racing, there could be a lot of breakouts and a lot of changes from what you saw when the boats crossed the finish line.
Results are always unofficial until posted on the Race World Offshore website. And in bracket 400, the boat that we thought, that everyone saw, looked like they ran across the finish line first, happened to do so en route through the spectator fleet, which is a no-no, so they got disqualified. If you enter the spectator fleet, because you can get lost on these race courses, you have to come off plane, idle safely back to the course, and then get on, but they just kind of raced through. So they learned they won't do it again, but your bracket 400 results ended up being Simmons Marine in first, Burning Man Offshore second, Miss Stress in third, and then Hartman X Insurance, but they were disqualified and got no points. And in bracket 700, we thought the Dirt Legal Velocity, they did not log any data from what I understand. So the win went to the Red Rum boat, followed by Cluette, Blind Bar, and then third was Dirt Legal. So we'll have to see how that shakes out for the title hunt and the national points going into the final race of the year. As we look at the pits, the
down on the wet pits, those are those are 3 Supercat boats, 4 Supercat boats. You can see the Dirty Money to the top left of the screen, and our lone factory stock boat that will be racing, the 38 MTI GC Racing. But the top 3 boats that finished Saturday, right there towards the bottom of the screen, Dirty Money at the top, GC Racing in the middle, and Graydell Racing out of Toronto. They'll be in the number 2 spot on the grid.
Even though they drew cards this morning to get their lane assignments, they were exactly the way they finished yesterday.
Correct.
So Dirty Money is in lane 1 with Britt Lilly and Bill Pyburn, and Bill Pyburn has had a bit of a weekend. Bill's son, as a defensive end at Louisiana State University, they played Clemson last night. He won the race yesterday in Pro Class 1, flew down there to watch the football game, and flew back to race today. So I'm sure he's hoping that his good luck for his family continues.
Yeah, Jack Pyburn playing this year at LSU in his senior year and hoping to build his draft stock
Well, actually, the lane draws were not exactly the same because Roland Transport's in lane 2.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, lane
Okay.
3 is Graydell and lane 4 is CR. So
that's a correction. Apology. So it's Dirty Money in lane 1.
Roland Transport, lane 2. CJ Grant, Graydell, lane 3. And then CR Racing, lane 4. And I said to Rob Understall, the driver of CR this morning, I said, well, you got no one pinching you from the right, so you'll be fine.
We look overhead at Dirty Money. They're your reigning Supercat world champions from Key West last year. Boat has run strong since it hit the water last year. And I mean, even once they got that boat, it was a boat that was running with Clovar.
Had a
out of
truck
an accident.
Yeah.
And in the off season they completely redid the boat, and we're so happy with it last year they canceled an order for a brand new 388 skater and have that thing right where they want it. Look at the X Insurance helicopter. Rick Lindsay, Neil Mellis will be on board giving us shots today as you look in towards the wet pits, and there you see the Graydell team with Chris Grant and Jay Muller heading out to get into the milling area. There's a pace boat, thanks to Chuck Buis and the Big Cigarette, who follows us around and gives us the starts for the races for Race World Offshore and the World Powerboat Race Association.
Yeah, and if Dirty Money wins again today, now the points get interesting.
They do.
With one race left to go. And it'll depend on where Graydell winds up if Dirty Money does get the win, but it's by no far written in stone.
No.
You still got to run the race.
And remember, if you didn't join us yesterday, it's a 50-50 split of points from yesterday to today. You will get an extra point today for every boat you finish in front of. So that could be the tiebreaker if you have a 1 and 2 switch from yesterday.
And if they do end up in a tie, they have things like miles covered and
fastest
speed,
overall
fastest
speed
overall
and miles
speed.
covered would be the 1-2 on any tiebreaker. Thanks for joining us and watching the X Insurance Chicago Nationals here on X Insurance Sports' YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to X Insurance Sports on YouTube and watch their sizzle reels. They have action, cool videos coming out from offshore powerboat racing every weekend throughout the season. We'll have more shots that will hit the YouTube page in the coming week from Chicago. As well, you can watch and go back and find the video replays at Race World Offshore's YouTube channel. And we're also streaming live at Race World Offshore's Facebook page. Supercats are heading out to race here. 7 laps today. Supercat, no fuel injection, Holly-style carbureted engines, canopied catamarans, 35 to 40 feet. The dominant boat that runs in this class is the 388 Skater, but we have an Outer Limits hull as well that's competing here. And although they did not make it for this race, the Hancock Farnsworth team campaigns an MTI, Marine Technologies hull.
Yeah, we want to send our best wishes to Win Farnsworth. His mom's having some health problems, and we hope she's doing better. And hope things improve for you. We'd like to see you back out with us once she's good.
So this is a 4.9 mile course. You're watching the boats just kind of on the north end of the east turn. That's turn number 4, and they're going to mill out towards the south side of this course, which is turn number 5. So 4.9 miles, long straightaways, just under 2 miles. So the outbound leg, they'll mill towards the shore and have a long run out to get started. This 3/4 lap will count as one of the 7 laps here today. And on the outbound leg, they're heading into water outside of the protection of the shore. On the very eastern side, they're in this little cove area that you come in and enter the marina here. A big wide sweeping turn on the east end, the 3-pin turn.
They can carry their speed through that real well.
They can, well set up, and then they'll come back on the inbound leg and head back in towards the start-finish line in front of the spectators here. There's a natural seawall, tiered 3-4 steps high, and natural place for everyone to sit and watch, as well as a beautiful lawn area towards the backside. We'll look at our boats heading out and getting towards the milling area and into the Chicago skyline here, which will be a backdrop for this race throughout the day. Rolling transport, that's Vinny Diorio and Sean Connor in the 40 outer limits with Sterling engines. This boat has been very strong this year. Big competition for dirty money this year. Graydell out of Toronto, Canada, 388 skater, Chris Grant, Jay Muller. CR Racing bought the Imcon Racing team and have moved up and have equipped that boat, that 388 skater, with Pee Wee Racing engines.
And Graydell, always known as a rough water boat, but now they've found their calm water setup as well, and the boat is now maintained down at Outlaw Performance in the Fort Myers area by Austin Blocker, which works out real well because HRE engines are right there. So it gives them a good communication, good synergy among all the components to make that team run smoothly.
Yeah, Hemetman engines really coming on strong this year for the CJ Grant Graydell Racing team.
Now what we'll be waiting for here is to see the orange smoke off the pace boat. They're in the milling area now. I can't imagine it's going to take too long to get them up and running because it's got to be warm in those enclosed cockpits. They don't have air conditioning in these boats.
This is the warmest day we've had here in Chicago. We've had mornings in the low 60s, mid 60s for sure, and cloud cover yesterday. We got orange smoke, so we're about ready to get these boats out of the mill and into the start. GC Racing there, Willie Cabeza and Grant Bruggeman from Grant Signature Racing in Bradenton, Florida, his throttle man.
They'll either start outside or behind just to stay out of the way of the points championship that's being contested in the Supercat class. And then they'll come back out and run in Pro Class 1, and they won't be hanging back in that one.
No, that boat looked great here yesterday. So with the lighter winds here today, and I wasn't blowing super hard yesterday, but again, everything looks like this course is going to be flatter here today.
Oh, it looks tailor-made for these boats. I mean, for the people who like to see them go fast and don't care so much about them running and jumping and crazy in and out of the water, they're going to have them set. And you talk to throttlemen, they don't always love a calm race because they're just firewalled. They're just wide open, and engines don't always love that, So there might be some management that needs to make sure you get to the end of the 7 laps or the 12 laps, especially with the Pro Class 1 race.
Pro Class 1 running a full 12 laps here. Something else that we can talk about, in all of the boats that are racing today in Supercat class, and even the factory stock boat of GC Racing, use a tunnel tab. And that's a hydraulic tab at the back of the tunnel, which they can deploy in the straightaway to get extra compression, extra lift down the tunnel and get more speed.
It's more like a flap on a wing than it is like a trim tab on the back of a boat because of the width. It's a trim tab is normally maybe a foot wide and a couple feet long. I know that's not precise, so don't everyone start texting me. But the tunnel tab is the width of that tunnel. So the effect that it has on the compression of air makes a big difference, and there's a fine element to learning how to deploy that correctly. So,
and we know for all of our fans watching globally here at the X Insurance Sports YouTube channel, also with Race World Offshore, their YouTube channel, these boats very well, but for folks in Chicago here maybe watching this for the first time, we have 2 pilots in the boat.
Yeah,
one that handles the wheel, the throttle, and one that handles the wheel, steers the boat, and the throttle man who controls the power and the trim aspects.
The attitude, how it flies. And so imagine and we've heard other people make, but you're like driving to the store, you're driving somewhere with your spouse, your friend, or whatever, and you only have control of half of what's going on. You have to allow that, trust the other side to do their job. So there is a synergy, there is a familiarization that takes place, and you'll see the guys who have been together for years, they don't even talk anymore in the boat hardly. They just know what the other one's going to do. So
got the yellow flag up. That means the pace boat is going to grab the boats up. They have to line up in order. Dirty Money will have the inside lane. The Outer Limits Rolling Transport lane 2. You see Great L moving up into lane 3, and the CR Racing in 4, and the GC Racing boat will stay to the outside. So we're about to get racing with Supercats here in Chicago, day 2. Boats have got to stay lined up.
There's an official on that pace boat who will determine when he thinks the lineup is fair, and then the green flag will go. If he doesn't think it looks good, he's going to hold them. So it's up to the racers to get themselves lined up.
I see the green flag, and the race is on here in Chicago. Day 2. As the boats will race on the outbound leg, turn number 1.
Rolling Transport is given a good challenge to Dirty Money early on. And Great L's out a little bit of a lead, but still very early to tell. So let's just kind of let this unfold a little bit.
So Dirty Money on the inside has control of the course. If they can keep themselves positioned right here. Great Dell's got the longer way around. It doesn't look like they've gotten out in front of the Outer Limits boat, but yes, they have about a 1 boat length lead over the Outer Limits boat. Dirty Money has the shorter way around that outbound leg. Dirty Money on the inside, Great Dell to the outside.
Yeah, and Britt Lilly is not afraid to turn that boat hard in Dirty Money. He's developed into such a good driver that
Dirty Money noses ahead, and now finishing out that wide turn on the eastbound of this, at the eastern side of this course.
And now it'll be interesting to see them come back through when if they get that hop that we saw yesterday from the other boats.
So now coming back down in front of the spectators here in just a moment, still outside of the shore, is Dirty Money, and they look to have a couple of boat length lead there.
And Dirty Money, the boat is owned by Bo and Tiffany Renfro, which is a little different because usually the owner's in the boat, but
Bill
seems to be
Pyburn
working for them.
Bill Pyburn, Britt Lilly, 388 skater with Goodwin Racing Power. Won yesterday, led all the way, and they're in the lead once again here today. Great L's just a 1.5 seconds behind. Outer Limits, Rolling Transport in 3rd, CR Racing in 4th. This is where Dirty Money made up so much time in Michigan City. They were able to turn and gain a lot of distance up as they had missed the early buoy, caught up in a rooster tail, had to go back around, and then fought their way back to a podium finish.
Yeah, and Great L is not letting them get away.
No, sir.
They're right there on their hip. And Jay Muller's a veteran, so, and Chris Grant can drive. So Dirty Money has the early advantage right now, but we'll see whose setup comes in 3 or 4 laps.
I love this shot of the Chicago skyline and 4 Supercats dancing on Lake Michigan.
That is a very cool shot. Now
you can see these boats are compressing air down the tunnels and just bouncing, trying to keep that propeller in the water. Any high hop, loss of control of the boat, you're going to lose speed.
Yeah, because you want to keep it moving forward. You see how low that rooster tail is there?
Look
the
at the
thrust
attitude.
Is pushing the boat forward, and that's exactly where you want it.
All these boats, they've got really great attitude heading out on their first full lap. That's Dirty Money.
Graydell
in the lead.
Yep.
Graydell again chasing, still close.
Roland Transport having a good day so far in third.
With Vinny Diorio and Sean Connor in the outer limits. CR Racing holding up in fourth.
Coming out of Superstock where there's usually 10 to 15 boats, I don't think Sean was too nervous about being in close quarters at the start of the race. I don't think Sean gets too nervous about much of anything. Very soft-spoken guy.
This is the conclusion of the first full lap here. It'll be our second of 7 here in Supercat Racing.
Graydell was Steel at one point. Short term, it was MCon.
That's right.
And then Chris bought it. Ran successfully with Billy Moore for a couple seasons, and now he's with Jay. So
back through for their second lap.
Dirty Money's still leading. But they're not running away like they have.
This is Dirty Money on lap number 2. Graydell, a couple of seconds behind, still Rolling Transport and CR Racing in third and fourth. So Dirty Money turning that lap of 103.13 miles an hour.
103?
103.
How many seconds was the gap?
2 seconds.
Only 2 seconds.
Rolling Transport,
so yeah.
6 back, CR Racing 8 off the leader.
Good tight race. Lake Michigan's cooperating, even though some people would want to see them bouncing around a little more.
Well, you know, as we move forward in this race, a lot of great, just rave reviews about it. People want to see it come back.
Yep.
Prove that we could do it here.
Yes.
And a lot of people said it couldn't be done. Race World Offshore pulled it off. And are already in talks.
Boat.
Yeah, already in talks about finding more space, more dry pits. We just saw, as Eric mentioned, GC Racing, the 38 MTI with Willie Cabeza and Grant Bruggerman.
And this looks like Roland Transport, the Outer Limits boat built in Rhode Island. And that's a few years old now.
Yep. Had the Mercury Racing engines when they were allowed.
The 860.
Yep,
EFI,
that's right.
Yep.
Graydell now 3.5 back, Rolling Transport 7.5. CR 10. So Dirty Money really making up a bit of ground in that eastbound turn as they now head, or in that westbound turn as they head into the east end of the course in that wide sweeping 3-pin turn.
Back to Roland Transport. At one point, Steve Curtis had some input in the design of this boat when they were doing it at Outer Limits.
And then he's moved around a little bit with engine builders over the years and settled in with Sterling Engines last year.
And Sterling Engines is under new ownership.
That's right.
It's no longer Sterling Performance.
And Cade Wilson is leading them into the future. And our leaders coming around and back in on the inbound leg, heading east towards Lakeshore Boulevard here near Montrose Beach and Lincoln Park in Chicago. Look down the tunnels of the Supercats. Graydell, Chris, and Jay. Back to Dirty Money in the lead. End of lap number 3. A little slower on that lap, just a half mile an hour at 102.7. Graydell holding second. Dirty Money picking right up where they left off yesterday, leading all the way.
So far.
Graydell, they made some time up on that eastbound turn and coming inbound again, down to 2.5. Rolling Transport 6 off the leader and CR Racing 10 seconds back. You look overhead at the boats turning against the Chicago skyline here. Now the boat's on the outbound leg once again. 4 laps remain. Overhead with the X Insurance Helicam, rolling transport. Vinny and Sean.
Flying it as best he can, but too much up, and all of a sudden you see it start dancing a little bit with the nose going up and down, and that'll actually slow you down. You want to keep it level and get as much boat out of the water as you can, but you don't want it to do that hop too much if you can help it.
I see Dirty Money. They're taking a wide line, just trying to get set up for that turn and make the apex at the turn just as...
Yep, playing a little defense.
That's right. Come
really
across, catch the buoy, and cut it around as quickly as they can. On that outbound leg, looks like Dirty Money does gain just a little bit of an advantage. Great Abel's able to make up some coming on the inbound leg last lap. They run this boat flawlessly. You won't see a catamaran run much more efficiently than this one right now.
No, and we talked about it yesterday, the amount of seat time that Bill Pyburn has in a 388 skater, and much of that was in higher horsepower exotic setups, but once he got into racing, Peter Lednitz skater told him, you've got more time in these boats than anybody, so just get comfortable.
I'll tell you what, the rest of the competition got these boats riding super as well. The 388 skater, Graydell, looking pretty good. Dirty Money's distanced themselves a little bit more this time. Got it back up to near 104 mile an hour on that lap as we look at Rob and Casey and CR Racing.
Now, is Roland Transport making any time on Graydell?
Staying about the same.
About the same. 2-second gap between them.
Yeah, Graydell about 4 off the leader. Rolling Transport 6.5 back. So they're staying in that 2 to 3 minute range. And CR Racing 11 seconds now off Dirty Money.
But now look at Roland Transport. It looks like they're pulling up alongside Graydell here. But they're on the outside making that turn, so the angle's a little deceptive.
We'll remind the viewers, these boats want to stay out of the wakes of other boats. You don't want to go through the aerated water. Stay away from the churn. Get better bite
You go
on
through
your props.
aerated water, it's like spinning your tires in wet pavement. You'd rather be on dry pavement.
Easy to slide too, how the boats slide out from underneath you.
Any type of correction you have to make slows you down. So you want the props in good water. You want the attitude of the boat to fly level. And I mean, this is some great competition so far.
On the outbound leg, Graydell, 5.5 back, 6.5 is Rolling Transport, and 12.5 CR. And Dirty Money is making great time up on this western turn.
And you see they're going
downtown.
wider there to keep the speed up. So that's the one where you can really sweep it.
And these boats will take a lot of G's, especially in more bumpy water in these turns.
I doubt that Bill's even pulling back on the throttles, maybe just to set it, but then getting right back in it. And Britt's telling him, okay, let's go, come on, come on, come on. So Bobby Adams and TJ Rand and the boys, they set it up right. Got to give them credit.
So our grid hasn't changed from the start. All of our Supercat boats out and running, and within 12 seconds of the leader, Dirty Money, as we go back on top from the X Insurance Helicam and look at the 388 skater with Goodwin Racing engines, Dirty Money, your reigning Supercat world champion.
And you see the new sponsor on the stern there, Boxo Tools. Nice to see them getting some financial support, but if we could go back to the second and third battle, here comes Roland Transport making a move.
So Gradell now 8 seconds behind. They've really fell off the pace on that last lap behind Dirty Money. Rolling Transport only a second behind, and CR Racing still holding at 12 seconds off the leader.
Okay, so Rolling Transport did not get by Gradell there?
They did not,
Okay.
but they're about a second and a half behind. Two laps left here in the Supercat race in Chicago.
Yeah, off the screen, I can see that GC Racing is pulled to the infield, and they're probably going to try to cross the course and head in to get ready for Class 1. Pro Class 1, excuse me.
Pro Class 1 racing coming up shortly following this one as we see our Supercat grid once again.
But you see how Dirty Money moved over there to set up to be able to come and take the apex of this turn, because they have control of the course.
Looks like Rolling Transport may have gotten around. Yeah, they got around Gradell. Now in second. There's your leader, Dirty Money. Penultimate lap of this Supercat race. The X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Rolling Transport, there they are. Vinny Diorio, Sean Connor. The Outer Limits with Sterling Power now in second. Gradell is falling back to third.
And Rolling Transport finished fourth yesterday, so that'll make it interesting for the points for the weekend.
And CR Racing looks like they're a lot closer to Gradell than they were to Rolling Transport.
And Gradell may be having some issues. We'll have to see how this plays out for the next lap and a half.
So Dirty Money.
Doing what Dirty Money does.
See, another flawless run here. Now heading westbound here in front of Lincoln Park in Montrose, down along the Chicago city skyline. Dirty Money continuing to lead. One lap to go here today. Dirty Money.
Another is pulled away from Gradell, and CR Racing is right alongside Gradell. I think CR Racing just got around Gradell. Yeah, they did. So something's going on with.
So rolling 4.5 seconds behind your leader, Gradell now 12, and CR Racing 13, but heading into that two-pin turn across the city skyline.
I think CR got past them.
It may have gotten past them. We'll see on the outbound leg, and there you can see them. They're to the outside.
Yeah.
Gradell may settle back into third.
See if CR makes a run at him on this last lap, because this is it.
That lap, Dirty Money got back up over 103 on the average speed, 103.33 miles an hour. You can watch your leader line up for that final turn as we look back at the number 2 boat from the X Insurance Helicam. Rolling Transport holding on to second here today.
And Dirty Money in the points picture could be rooting for CR Racing right now, because if they get past Gradell, big picture is going to get real interesting.
Look at Dirty Money lining up for that 3-pin turn.
And because of that, now Rolling Transport's outside of them.
Rolling Transport 3 seconds behind. Gradell 13 and CR 14, but they're battling for third.
Yes, they are.
CR.
That sure looks like CR's passed them.
They have come around them.
Yep.
Heading towards the finish line when they get through this wide sweeping turn on the east end.
Oh, flying it there a little bit.
And for the final time, fans enjoy the Supercats. Race World Offshore and X Insurance presenting the Chicago Nationals. And a 7-lap race here, second of 2. Dirty Money poised to win for the second consecutive day.
Yeah.
And here they come, Bill Pyburn, Britt Lilly, 388 skater with Goodwin Racing engines, followed by Rolling Transport, and they'll pass in the lead to wrap up this Supercat race. Rolling Transport will take second. Dirty Money is your winner today. They average 104.33 miles an hour.
Another
Rolling
convincing
Transport
win.
takes second. CR Racing third. And off the screen, we're watching Gradell finish up in fourth. All of these results will be made official after tech inspections.
That might have been something where Gradell could have just been a little underpropped when they started to lighten up.
So Rolling Transport ends up finishing about 4.5 seconds off the leader. CR Racing 12 seconds behind, and Gradell, who was only 1.5, 2 seconds behind Dirty Money early, falls back to 17 seconds off the lead. But all 4 boats within 17 seconds of the leader. In a good showing, all 4 boats finishing, although Gradell falling back just a little bit.
But man, the people watching at home, getting to see those skyline shots with all the boats looking side by side as they come towards you, that's some pretty cool footage.
Good look overhead as they open the hatch. Britt Lilly usually coming out to take the checkered flag.
Yeah, they're going to do a pretty quick transition to go back and get in the X Insurance South boat to come back out. But clean race. Didn't look like there was anything anywhere that there'd be any question about the outcome to me. So,
well, they'll have to turn their data cards in and turn them over to inspection.
But cleanly raced.
It was cleanly raced. This is one of the most exciting forms that offshore powerboat racing has ever put to the water. Supercat racing, and today fans in Chicago got a great view of it here on Lake Michigan.
And the nice, people kind of complain of, old school carbureted engines, blah. You don't have to worry about Guardian with them. Nothing against Mercury, but you don't have to worry about Guardian with a carbureted motor.
And I still think
the only Guardian is the guy pulling back on the throttles.
And I mean, it does have that element that you can roll your sleeves up, get in there and work on the engines, tear them down, rebuild them. You could literally, go with your own specific engine builder. They're harder to tech, surely, but it's old school racing.
But it's kind of cool old school racing.
Trying to get a shot here for you of the
flag toss here.
As Dirty Money gets the win here today.
Whoa.
Did it go over?
No, I don't know. It looked like they tried to go around.
Yeah, it went over.
Oh, that's too bad. Now who's holding ankles and who's grabbing?
I think I'm not saying.
Didn't mean it that way, folks.
Certainly like to thank all the people of Chicago, the hospitality, those that helped us gather up and put this race on. It's a beautiful spot for offshore powerboat racing, a natural venue here at Montrose Beach, and our hats go off to Larry Blyle and Rob Hartman, Roger Cox for the hard work they did to put this together. There's your winners, both Saturday and Sunday. That's Dirty Money. Bill Pyburn and Britt Lilly victorious again, and they'll be your 2-day points winners here today.
But in their mind, it's 3 down, 1 to go, because they got one more race to run. They're happy about this, but they're gonna compartmentalize really quick and then get ready for the Pro Class 1 race.
So it'll be a tight finish for second.
Yeah, that's going to be
real interesting.
Might have to take off their shoes and socks to count all those points up.
Sort that out here as we get ready to go to break here shortly. Live coverage of the Chicago X Insurance Nationals. Next up, Clearwater, and then on to Key West to finish up the 2025 Race World Offshore and WPRA racing season. Listening to our live stream, which is presented by Maximum Inflation, Gas Technologies, the owners of the Maximum Inflation brand, give CO2 and nitrogen gas cartridges for marine, motorcycle, and aviation, and military safety devices such as inflatables, life jackets, and rider fall protection. Since 1965, Leland Gas Technologies producing packaged gases and related gas handling equipment. Dirty Money coming across the seawall here and getting ready to head back into the wet pits and get set for their Pro Class 1 race coming up. See the natural arena, the seawalls that go for miles here in Montrose, in Lincoln Park. So we're getting ready to take a commercial break. Back with more action here from the X Insurance Chicago Nationals in a moment.
Your machine got you here, and the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit will get you home. This compact tire filling kit comes with over 200 grams of CO2 for filling your motorcycle, side-by-side, and ATV tires. No batteries, no disappointment. The only US-made CO2 valve.
the Chicago X Insurance Nationals, Race World Offshore's final races leading up to the Key West World Championships in November. Go to raceworldoffshore.com for the full schedule of events. Just had Supercat racing. The Pro Class 1 boats are getting ready to come out very soon. The choppers are not refueling, I think. Is that correct? Yes, they're not refueling. So we're just going to get right to the final race of the afternoon, a 12-lap Pro Class 1 race. Just to recap quickly, just did some quick points totals. Unofficially, it appears obviously that the Dirty Money is going to be your two-day winner here in Chicago. Get the first place points. When you look at the remaining points, it's very tight. It's very tight because Rolling Transport takes the second today, Eric, and
plus the points for boats beaten.
Yeah, and plus the points for boats beaten, and their fourth place yesterday. They have 165 points. CR Racing took third both days, and they have 161 points with that extra boat they defeated today. Gradell has 160 points. So CR will take the podium. This is unofficial.
Yeah.
But just from my hand scoring, it looks like, we're barring a penalty, that it will be Dirty Money in first, Rolling Transport in second, and CR Racing third, Gradell fourth. Again, that's the broadcast, the team's unofficial scoring of today's Supercat race. The average speed for Dirty Money, again, 103.556 miles an hour. Pretty impressive. Live coverage of the Chicago Windy City races here. First time we're back in the Windy City in about 15 years. You're listening to Todd Swafford and Eric Colby from the Porte Products Broadcast Center. And Porte Products, they are the leader in marine technology and builder of the Porte hydraulic lift system, the most advanced in the world. Helps you dial in your X dimension with one touch of a switch at the helm. And without the costly time transfer, taking your boat in and out of the water to adjust your engine height. You can adjust your gear case with one touch of a switch from the helm. Go to porteproducts.com. So Pro Class 1 will come out. They're going to race 58.8 miles here off of Chicago. When we come back, we'll give you the starting grid for Pro Class 1. More coverage here from X Insurance Sports YouTube channel, also the Race World Offshore YouTube channel and Facebook page from the Windy City of Chicago. Back after this. And the Chicago skyline in the background here from the Windy City. First time in over a dozen years that we raced on Lake Michigan near Chicago. This is right in the heart of the city. I was with the Superboat group in '92. We raced up at North Point, just on the border between Illinois and Wisconsin.
When I was the editor of Powerboat, which I can't remember what year, but I was here when U.S. Offshore had a race in Chicago with Bill Gifford leading the organization.
Looking at the X Insurance South team down in the pits, getting that boat ready to shove off and head out to the milling area. Rolling transport tied up there to the X Insurance South team.
Rolling Transport has the straps on for the crane, so they're going
They
to
do.
lift that out and then get the X Insurance South boat. They don't want Bill Pyburn to crash from the adrenaline he's been riding on all day, so they want to get him out before it hits him, I think.
See the teams working to get that boat craned out of the water. Look back down at Navy Pier where they have a Jumbotron down there and showing action to the race fans. Of course, we had the party last night at Navy Pier.
Yep.
And down at the beer garden, everyone had a great time. So much to do here in Chicago. Beautiful clipper, big sailing community here. Thousands, tens of thousands of boats in the marinas on the shoreline as you come up from Navy Pier here up to Lincoln Park.
And I'm sure once they clear this course, there's going to be a bunch of people heading out for a Sunday afternoon on Labor Day weekend to get out on their own personal boats.
A lot of boats out on the spectator course here. We're just west of Lincoln Park, Wrigley Field, just really southwest of here, probably 8 minutes. So much to do. We're staying in the downtown area at our official hotel of the X Insurance Chicago Nationals, the Hyatt Regency, proud sponsor of this Race World Offshore event. And of course, hustle and bustle down there in the downtown area.
Yep.
So much to do.
And I've heard from the racers, a lot of people saying, it's great because, there were so many places we could walk to for dinner and it was nice along the river. And so it's a great venue. It does offer quite a bit in terms of entertainment and, dining options. And
yeah, and this venue itself, the Montrose area, again, not far from Wrigleyville.
Right.
The Addison area, we spent a couple days up here, our producer JW and I in Addison, and stayed at the old Versi Hotel, which we usually stay at to go see a Cubs game. And there's so much to do in that. You can walk everywhere. And the weather here was so spectacular in Chicago this week. In the low 70s for the most of the day.
It can easily go the wrong direction this time of year in the Midwest in general.
True.
So
let me correct myself. It was in the low 70s most of the week. Today is the warmest day.
Yep.
It's climbed up to probably high 70s, near 80 degrees. The breeze seems to be coming back up again a little bit, but not too dramatic. You can see the flags waving on the sailboats. Probably now up to 7 to 8 miles an hour. Not expected to be very, very much out of the east here today. And the Pro Class 1 boats that we have coming out, canopied cats up to 47 feet, can span the even pretty big waves, which we don't expect to see, and we surely did not see in that Supercat race earlier, Eric.
Yeah, and if it didn't toss around a 38-foot boat, it's not going to toss around a 47-foot boat.
That's right. So from yesterday's 7-lap preliminary, X Insurance South has the points lead. Same scenario here, split points from the two different days, but X Insurance Sports has the lead with GC Racing in second, Monster third, and X Insurance North in third. Right now we're going to take another break and hopefully have a report from the pits here in Chicago. Tristan, take it away.
Chris and Jay, you guys are marching up front. Something happened out there. Tell us what happened.
mean, we had a solid run going. I thought if they had a little smaller prop on as the race would go on, we would maybe reel them in on the outside leg and get inside them. And then the hatch came open in one turn, and every turn water was coming in. It was hitting all the digital gauges were shutting off, so I couldn't read where my trim was at. I was just purely going by feel. But we had a good setup, and it was an exciting race.
Hey, I really hate to hear that for you guys. You looked great out there at the beginning, but what do you do? A hatch coming open really kind of ruins the whole race for you. So sorry about that. But thank you guys so much. And we'll see you out there at the next one.
Thank you.
Justin Garvin from the X Insurance pits with the team Graydell, Chris Grant, and Jay Muller. As they fell off the pace today, but they're still in the national points hunt as we head to the Clearwater Nationals in just about a month, the end of September.
Yeah.
Get ready for the Key West World Championships. It's been a great year for them. It really has.
Yeah, we forgot to mention one other identity that boat had was AMH.
That's right, AMH
Construction.
That's right.
And Anthony Smith throttled the boat for that team. And
with Aaron Hope.
Anthony Smith was, and Christian McCauley just went over and made the attempt to run Cows Torquay Cows, and they thrashed and thrashed and thrashed according to an article and Speed on the Water, but couldn't get one of the engines started and had to call it. But congrats to Rob Lockyer for winning that race in his outer limits.
Last true long distance race in which offshore powerboat racing was built. The old Miami Sea Race, Miami to Bahamas and back. Nassau was one of the originals. Cows for Key was built on that basis. It's the longest running continuous race in the world.
Yeah, kind of like the, what do they call it now, the Great Race down in Trinidad. Mm-hmm. And there's so many retired U.S. race boats that run that race down there now. But here we see the big boats headed out, the X Insurance team. And we clearly saw yesterday at the start, there are no team rules between the two. They're going to race against each other just as hard as they'd race against anybody else.
X Insurance North having a great start.
Yep.
Certainly they have the fastest qualifying lap yesterday with J.J. Turk and Nick Buis in that Marine Technologies hull, but had some problems during the race later.
Yeah, they had a problem with a transmission after qualifying, and then they had a problem with a transmission during the race. So now they have two new transmissions.
See the Monster Energy 438 Skater. All these boats with the quad cam 4-valve turbocharged Mercury spec engines for Pro Class 1, the 1100 horsepower Mercury turbocharged engines.
Yeah, Tyler Miller said he just made the wrong call on props yesterday. So I'm sure he got with his brain trust last night, looked at the data, and he and Myrick Coyle, his driver, who's also an integral part of the whole service program at Performance Boat Center out in Lake of the Ozarks. I'm sure they did their research and put on a good set of props for today.
So here comes our Pro Class 1 grid out for the final race here of the X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Thanks for joining us and watching the live stream here today. Don't forget to go to X Insurance Sports YouTube channel and subscribe and rewatch this race, as well as their amazing sizzle reels and actions of boats throughout the offshore racing season. So here's our starting grid for Pro Class 1 here on this Sunday in Chicago.
Lane 1, we have Brett Lilly and Bill Pyburn and X Insurance South. Lane 2, GC Racing / MTI. Willie Cabeza is the owner-driver. Grant Bruggeman, throttleman. Lane 3, Monster Energy. Tyler Miller, the owner, throttleman. Myrick Coyle, the driver. And X Insurance North, Lane 4, J.J. Turk and Nick Buis. The current holders of the Dam to Dam record out in Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri, set about a week ago in the turbine-powered X Insurance Mystic.
So looking back in towards the outlet from the marina here at Montrose Beach and Lincoln Park.
Yeah, with the calmer water today, this could be the boat to beat because they showed us how fast they are in calm water at Lake of the Ozarks. So
turning the fastest lap of the weekend there. In qualifying, GC Racing kind of fell off the pace that we saw them earlier in the day in testing. They were really running well, but they finished strong, taking second overall in the race to X Insurance South. You see there on the right side of your screen.
Yeah, I texted with Grant yesterday afternoon because I missed him in the pits, and he said, yeah, they just they were a little off on a couple things, but the team worked hard and they're got it back to where they wanted it to be able to make a strong run today. So second place.
Yes, sir. No, great.
So they're still in the points
for Willie and Grant. There's your X South, the orange canopy boat, the neon green canopy boat to the left, the X Insurance North. With
X Insurance South is a victory hull.
47 victory with twin steps, unique steps too. They're jagged. They're like shark teeth. It's made to aerate water and help get the boat up. Moving out to the green flag and to
the milling area.
Into the milling area.
And the X Insurance South is also a BPM surface drives with a rudder. X Insurance North is Mercury number 6 drives with a rudder. And the other two boats are Mercury Racing number 6s that turn. So they get the tunnel tab while the rudder boats do not have the tunnel tab.
Boats motoring out, X Insurance North, the MTI hull. There's your grid against the Chicago skyline one more time. Getting ready to mill and start this 12-lap, nearly 60-mile race.
Yeah, 12 laps is enough to see if someone set up for the start too much or if it's going to come to them later. It may not be determined as quickly as, and like the running order is just going to stay after they get through a few laps. Something could come to one of the teams later if they set up for when the fuel burns off, but they all have to stay pretty close to each other if they want to make a shot at the end. You can't really let one run away.
Looking out off the bow of the X Insurance South as they're moving towards Navy Pier. They'll be milling far north of that. Down at turn number 5 on the far east end of this course. It's important to note, you talked about the different propulsion systems. There's varying choices of propellers between the two, between the shaft and rudder boat and the number 6 drive boats.
Yeah, the number 6s, they're not limited on the number of propellers they can have available to them. Earlier this year, the BPM boats, because they can do a quick change on the gears themselves, were limited to 3 propellers. They changed that. They doubled the amount that you can have available now to 6 sets of props. And it just kind of levels the playing field in terms of what you can put on there. And the cool thing about this view is this is the view that Britt and Bill have from inside the boat. This is what they're looking at 100 and whatever miles an hour.
We see orange smoke coming off the pace boat, so we will shortly have the start of Pro Class 1 racing here in Chicago.
Was that your boat we just saw in the background there, that big one?
Yeah, man, how'd you know?
That's where we're going later?
Yes, sir. It's a nice day for a cruise here. We're going to have a little bit of time afterwards before the award ceremony. What an amazing weekend it's been here in Chicago. The sights and sound, home of the Cubs and the White Sox, the Chicago Bears, and they're hoping for big things from the Bears this year.
The Bears. Who's the new quarterback? I can't remember his name for the Bears.
Caleb Williams.
Williams, that's right.
Yep, former USC quarterback.
And they really want to see this new coach and him mesh.
Yes, sir.
It's all over SportsCenter every other day.
But today we're talking about powerboat racing in Chicago with its great food and hospitality and Midwest
And they're
sensibilities.
They're bringing them up on plane.
Great music around this town. Come and enjoy whenever you can. So the Pro Class 1 boats getting up and getting set to race here. Final race of this weekend.
The first 3/4 lap does count as a full lap. So I can't imagine they're not going to release them pretty quick. By the looks of that, there goes
They have been
X-Insurance
released.
South.
Yep, X-Insurance South jetting out from the number 1 lane position.
Wow, did Bill nail that? But look at Grant and Willie right next to him.
From the cockpit of X-Insurance South as they head to that wide sweeping turn, and again looking down the chute under the tunnels of the 4 boats racing here in Chicago today in Pro Class 1. That's X-Insurance South on the inside line. Back to your lead boat heading out towards the number 1 turn, 3-pin turn, wide sweeping turn here.
And they don't have the rule anymore. I don't believe that you have to hold your lane through turn 1. You get two overlap lengths of 2 boat length overlap. You can go wherever you want.
But X-Insurance South has the inside lane. They continue around. GC Racing holding second. This will be the first of 12 laps here today. Overhead from the X-Insurance Helicam, in the back looking down towards the east. See the X-Insurance North boat on the outside lane. Flipping the pin and now heading eastbound. Britt Lilly with a good turn. Bill Pyburn putting down his tunnel tab and the throttles all the way down. Turbo lag out and those 1100s into full boost. X-Insurance South in the lead here in Pro Class 1. End of lap number 1. Second with GC Racing, X-Insurance North in third. It appears
Monster in fourth. Wait a minute. X-Insurance might have just gotten around GC. We'll have to see here. I mean, they're on the outside, GC's on the inside, but.
So X-Insurance North was in second by 3 seconds. GC in third. Imcon 10 seconds off the leader. So it's X-Insurance North behind X-Insurance South. GC in third.
Well, if you think about it for Britt and Bill, they both have to do a bit of a reset, getting out of the Supercat and climbing right into this boat, because they do things differently in terms of, like you said, with the throttling and the twin turbos of the 1100s versus the naturally aspirated Supercats. So it's got to be a pretty quick mental reset, because they were just out there.
Looks like X-Insurance North in the center of that grid there. As they came over.
To the right of your screen is X-Insurance South leading the way.
Yeah, but JJ Turk and Nick Buis looking good in second. They're 5 seconds off the lead. GC Racing 8 seconds off the pace of X-Insurance South, and Imcon 11 seconds back. So yes, X-Insurance North, JJ Turk and Nick Buis of Statement Marine holding second here today, with GC Racing on their stern.
And we talked yesterday about the learning curve that JJ Turk has had for the last year, and it's been steep. This is the first cat he's raced as a driver, so I'd say he's picking it up pretty quick.
Pro Class 1 boats now back in front of the spectators here on the shoreline to complete lap number 2 of 12. MTI of X-Insurance North. GC Racing, Willie Cabeza, Grant Bruggeman in third. Back to North. X Insurance South clocks through at 112.8 miles an hour on its first full lap. There goes the number 2 boat, X Insurance North, but there are your leaders in the 47 Victory, Pyburn and Lilly. X Insurance North 5 seconds off the pace of the leader, GC 9 and Imcon 13.5. Tyler and Myrick not having that quick pace we expected out of the 438 skater. Great shot overhead as we look on the Chicago skyline and our grid heading on the outbound leg once again into Lake Michigan. From the Helicam, the X Insurance North team.
Boat's carrying well. Nick's got it trimmed where he wants it, so it's minimal resistance and good and level.
Watching these Pro Class 1 teams skim the water, keeping the props connected and moving forward. X Insurance North still maintaining a 5-second deficit. GC falling back a couple of seconds after the eastbound turn, 11 seconds now, and MCON still right at about 14 seconds off the pace. Willie and Grant into the 3-pin turn.
This is their first season in that boat. I think they've podiumed at every race, if I'm not mistaken.
They're a great duo, and Willie Cabeza is a proud offshore powerboat racer, campaigning 2 boats, also in the factory stock class, and jumping now up to Pro Class 1 with Grant from Grant Signature Racing in Bradenton, Florida. A high-performance hub, not only rigging race boats, but poker run boats and pleasure boats. Overhead,
and
the X Insurance South team.
A key integral element to the success of Grant Signature is Kelly Bruggeman. So
watch them come in for the completion of their 3rd lap here. That lap turned at 112.2 miles an hour. Turning this boat as strong as they did the 388 skater in Supercat in their win earlier. Pyburn and Lilly. X Insurance South leading by 6 over X Insurance North, 13 to 3rd place and 17 seconds in front of 4th place Monster Energy. Big day for the X Insurance teams. They're running 1-2 here.
And the Dirty Money crew is basically the X Insurance South crew as well, if I'm not mistaken. So they've had a heck of a weekend so far.
TJ Rand he's worked hands in hand with Bobby Adams with the Dirty Money Race team. Working on this team with the crew on this 47 Victory.
I was just talking, I happened to run into the dad of the guy who hauls the boats for the team. They said they hired Bobby when he was 16. He started working for Geico and some of the other big names in the sport, and he's just worked his way up as a crew member to where he's running the show now for Dirty Money and X Insurance South.
Grid kind of holding their places on that outbound leg there. 6 seconds ahead of X Insurance North is Bill Pyburn and Britt Lilly in the X Insurance South team. It's like Imcon is falling back even further, 20 seconds now. They've lost about 9 seconds over the last lap and a half.
Yeah, that could raise a Guardian question, possibly, or a setup question. You know, we'll have to wait and find out.
Eric will, of course, find time tonight to write the entire story of the 2 days of racing and find out the answers to those questions for you, posting it tomorrow at speedonthewater.com. Back to your leaders. X Insurance South, Dirty Money Race Team, Bill Pyburn Britt Lilly back to the number 2 boat. 43 MTI with Turk and Buis.
Ends lap 4 out of 12, so we're 33% of the way through.
That lap turn at 113.03. Completing this 4.9, roughly 4.9 mile course in about 2 minutes, 36 seconds. So X Insurance North still staying about 5.5 seconds off the lead, but your 3rd and 4th place boats are falling back off, even further. GC Racing now back to 20 seconds off the leader. MCon went from 20 to 24 in that half lap.
I'd be surprised if Jack Pyburn wasn't watching his dad, but wonder if any of the other LSU players are joining him, watching the live stream.
Could be a little watch party there, and they're celebrating their win over Clemson last night. Bill making plans to attend all the games of LSU, and even working it into his race in Clearwater, just as he did last night, flying out of here and getting to Clemson. He's lucky, though, when he goes to the Key West World Championships, they play on Saturday, and we don't race on Saturday.
Oh, okay. But the schedules clash again for Clearwater?
Yep. So our leaders, X Insurance South, still about 5.5 seconds ahead of North, and GC Racing's fallen up another 3 seconds and 1 second MCon just in that last half lap.
I'd be surprised if one or both aren't having some other kind of problem to fall back.
MCon,
it just doesn't look like they're showing the same.
GC Racing there just doesn't look like they've got their speed today.
They look like they're laboring now.
They do. I'll tell you, in testing yesterday, I thought they really looked strong.
Yeah. But then in qualifying, they were kind of,
They were.
So,
well,
we'll have to see.
Those guys will stay at it. X Insurance South coming in. We're not yet at the halfway point of this X Insurance Chicago Nationals. Tell you what, X Insurance North is staying on them. Still right at just a shade under 113 miles an hour, but Buis and Turk are not letting up.
No, this is the best run we've seen out of them so far.
And the team getting that boat back together, a couple of transmission problems, and now you may have a battle for 3rd place going on now.
And now they look like they've both picked up, and whatever issues they may have been having, now they look fast again.
They're still falling back a bit, but GC's only 2 seconds ahead of MCon, who is looking to move up onto the podium today.
Yeah, they're both thinking big picture right now in terms of points. They just want to try to keep it together to get the finish. Because attrition's probably attrition could hit somebody before 12 laps is over, let's put it that way.
Again, the 2-pin turn on the east side of the Chicago shoreline. Now our 2 leaders in 3rd and 4th boats are coming around and heading, we call it eastbound, but it's kind of more like east-northeastbound.
Yeah.
This course is not exactly east-west, but tilting a little bit more to the east-northwest and west-southwest. X Insurance North about 2.5 seconds closer to X Insurance South on that half lap. But GC and MCon still falling back of the 2 top boats.
This looks to me like GC and MCon Monster are side by side right now.
That's Monster.
There's Monster pulling on the inside to try to make a move here.
Does look like certainly they can get to the pin. A lot of the advantage around the turn there. And so Monster edging ahead there. And looks like when they come back on the inbound leg, they could have moved into third.
But credit to Willie for driving right alongside Myrick, who is a lot more experienced than Willie does at the wheel.
See the Monster Energy team chased by GC Racing. That's a battle for third there, and Imcon has now moved onto the top 3.
We are halfway through for X Insurance South and North.
Yeah, off the camera, X Insurance South has just completed lap number 5. Number 6.
Yep.
Here comes Imcon now in control of third place. The Monster Energy race team, run by the Imcon crew, 2-time Supercat World Champions, out of Wathena, Texas. Imcon, an underground excavation company, owned by Tyler Miller, the throttle man. Driver Myrick Coyle of Performance Boat Center. So they now have taken command of third place. GC Racing falls back to 4th. X Insurance North was 5.75 seconds off the lead, so they lost about a second on this inbound leg. Imcon's 31 seconds now behind the leader, so the third and fourth boats continue to fall back from the top 2 here. We're at the halfway point. All of our Pro Class 1 teams with their quad cam 4-valve Mercury 1100 turbocharged engines out and running after a nice day on Saturday, qualifying and racing a half lap race. We will still take the points from yesterday, cumulative points as we did with Supercat earlier, to determine who the overall winner of the X Insurance Chicago Nationals is. On top with boat that has just stubbornly stayed place in second, trailing the leader.
They want that podium finish.
You can see them still holding in there.
Monster Energy, new boat are going to go under construction later this year, so they'll have a new boat for 2026 in Class 1, Pro Class 1. Say hello to Peter Ledden and the crew at Skater, Douglas Marine. Wish them well.
Looking at your number 2 boat on screen, Buis and Turk in X Insurance North. From the X Insurance Helicam.
That was a boat that was upside down in Key West a couple years ago. And it looks very good now.
Flyback, blew over backwards.
Yep.
They're holding second place. Dirty Money ran their fastest lap of the day just now, 1:14.7. Monster Energy 438 Skater.
Stretching things out a little bit over GC MTI.
So X Insurance South moved about 2 seconds further in front of North on lap number 7 now with a 7.75 second lead. Imcon and GC Racing continue to fall off. They're 36 and 41 seconds off the leader. So they're pulling away from those guys, but there's still a race between those two, although Monster is about 5 seconds ahead of the 4th place GC Racing team.
Yeah, we're not in a place yet where anyone can say, okay, we just need to keep it together. They still have to keep running, and you know, we're on 8 out of 12, so when they come by this time, we'll be 75% of the way through, right?
That's right.
Or would that be, no, that would be 9 out of 12.
Close to it.
Yeah.
Live coverage here from Chicago, brought to you in part by Maximum Inflation. The new Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit by Maximum Inflation is the only U.S.-made valve that uses CO2 cartridges for your side-by-side motorcycle or ATV. your machine got you there, the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit gets you home. Our leaders from the X Insurance Helicam, X Insurance South, and trailing in second, the North team. North team with the neon green cockpit top. Our leader, X Insurance South, capped with orange. What a run for this team.
And the happiest guy again, Rick Lindsay, owner of X Insurance.
Teams fulfilling their sponsorship here this weekend in Chicago. With your third and fourth boats coming into the picture, Monster Energy on the left and GC Racing to the right. So X Insurance South, we just turned that lap at 113.1, which their fastest lap was just on the previous, now 9.5 seconds ahead of the North boat, so they distanced the spread just a little bit. And again, the 3 and 4 boats continue to fall back now at 38 and 44 seconds off the pace of X Insurance South. Looking back at the Chicago sideline as X Insurance South sets up for that sweeping turn on the east end, 3 pins. They've been pegging it all day in 2 different classes.
And most likely loving every minute of it.
And so much of this sport is entry and exit speed, no matter what class you're in.
Yeah,
and the Dirty Money X Insurance South team.
I did an interview with Michael Peters, the famous boat designer, the other day, and when he first started designing Class 1 boats in Europe, he said he had to learn to slow them down because they were winning the race to the first pin, but they weren't staying together for the whole race. So he had to evolve, and the whole team had to evolve to go more for consistency than just flat out speed. You know, expert veteran racers will tell you, you got to learn to have the fastest lap, not the fastest one part of the course.
And the renowned yacht designer Michael Peters designed this 47-foot Victory Hull of X Insurance South, former Spirit of Qatar boat. It's Steve Curtis, the legendary racer, teamed up with Sheikh Jabor bin Al Thani in. So our top 2 boats with X Insurance North in the trail, the number 11 team of JJ Turk and Nick Buis in the 43 MTI with a hybrid fixed number 6 surface drives, skegs cut off, and a rudder between them to turn.
Monster Energy holding third. They're comfortably in front of GC Racing, MTI, the 2 newest boats in the class.
3 laps left here in Chicago Nationals presented by X Insurance. North continuing to drop off another second or so. I think they're resigned to take second, but they're 30 seconds ahead of third place, IMCON. X Insurance North with their best outing of their rookie season. 9.5 seconds behind your leader here on screen, X Insurance South. They are quickly establishing themselves as the hottest boat in Pro Class 1 racing right now.
Yeah, there's another 47 victory we'd like to see them matched up against, but that remains to be seen if it's going to happen. as they race against the Chicago skyline, and the boat we would want to see, the livery, is the New York skyline.
X Insurance South turning again in towards the fans here in Chicago. There'll be 2 laps left after this one, coming in off of turn number 3, heading back in. Beautiful shot of that 47 victory hull from the X Insurance Helicam. Now you can see from shore Rick Lindsay and Neil Mellis on board with the shots and riding right by X Insurance South.
And we should say hello to someone who would usually be in that helicopter as he continues to recuperate. Jeff Girardi from Freeze Frame Video. Hope Jeff is doing well and to see him back out at a race soon.
There's your top 2 boats from the X Insurance camp, south and north. And Buis and Turk continue to hold that 9.5 second deficit here with 2 laps to go. We look at Monster Energy on the left, Marine Technologies GC Racing on the right. There's Monster, Tyler and Myrick. Won the World Points Championship last year. Had the honor of going to Monaco to receive their medals and presentations. That's quite an honor. And for a team that's accomplished so much.
Right? The Sam Griffith Trophy?
The Sam Griffith Trophy, yes.
This is a brand new boat this year. So it's Willie. It's good to see Willie Cabeza teaming up with the support of MTI and Randy Sism to have a new Class 1 boat out here. That is a big commitment.
And a campaign too, still racing the factory stock team. Great pairing there. I like the feel of the Cabeza Bruggeman team.
Yeah. I mean, Willie seems like
he's very low key.
He's low key, but he also knows he has to learn, and he's willing to say, okay, Grant, let's work together here.
And he wants to win.
Yes.
And he's focused. And no one is more diligent and put together than Grant Bruggeman of Grant Signature Racing.
That he's all about the little details.
X Insurance South coming around again, penultimate lap of this race, holding a 10.5 second lead with only a lap and a half left to go. And the third and fourth place boats now 44 and 53 seconds behind. Almost a full minute now. 11 laps in. So look back at the Monster Energy race team. 1 lap left to go for X Insurance South.
I talked to Britt Lilly, and you did too, after Michigan City when they won their first races in that boat. I think he said he spent more time in the month leading up to that race in Stewart testing than he did at home. So that's the commitment that they've made to being successful. Because when you have a spec class, everyone's running the same engine, there's only so many variables other than just getting better at your role in the boat.
You're tuned to the X Insurance Chicago Nationals from the Porte Broadcast Center. Porte Products, leaders in marine technology and builder of the Porte hydraulic transom lift system, the most advanced in the world. Lifts 1,000 horsepower per engine with horsepower capacities of 1,000 per engine, carrying up to 1,500 pounds of weight per engine. Let them build one for you at porteproducts.com. On to the last lap of this 12-lap Pro Class 1 race. Still X Insurance North now at a 10-second lead over the number 2 boat, or X Insurance South with a 10-second lead over North. As we look back at your number 4 boat, Marine Technologies, and a last look at the Chicago skyline in the backdrop as X Insurance South makes the into the wide sweeping 3-pin turn on the east end of this course here in the windy city of Chicago. Big day for Bill Pyburn, the throttle man. Co-owner of the teams.
Big weekend.
Yeah, big weekend. Won already in Supercat. And with his driver and co-pilot, Britt Lilly, they're poised here to take another checkered flag today at the Race World Offshore X Insurance Chicago Nationals. A 9.5-second lead over the second place boat. It's all done, but the waving of the checkered flag for X Insurance South. This will be 4 consecutive wins for them in racing in Michigan City and Chicago over 2 days.
And they've all been convincing. There's been no like, oh, this one's at the nose.
And here taking the checkered flag in Chicago, Bill Pyburn and Britt Lilly in X Insurance South. Another win in Pro Class 1 here today.
Second place goes to JJ Turk and Nick Buis in X Insurance North in their best finish of the year. And they were the top qualifier for the weekend, so really step up in progress for them. Glad to see that happen.
Had them
What
turning
was your
that
top
lap
speed for the
113 miles an hour.
Okay.
Right where they pretty much stayed all day. They did turn one lap at 114.9. Monster Energy will take third place here in Chicago today. Tyler Miller, Myrick Coyle.
But I don't know if that'll get him on the podium. That should get him on the podium for the weekend because...
Yeah, they had a third place yesterday.
Yeah, so third and third.
The question
we'll
will
have
be...
to see.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about flopping points from GC Racing, who finished second yesterday, fourth today.
And then
they would win the tiebreaker because X Insurance North didn't go around the course as far. But we got to look at that extra point that's being calculated today.
So, and that's why I majored in journalism, because I don't do math.
And once again,
I'll let others calculate that.
The X Insurance South team finishes 9 seconds in the end in front of X Insurance North. IMCON 37 seconds off the leader. GC Racing 45 seconds off the leader. There you have it.
Heck of an inaugural weekend in Chicago.
Absolutely. And special thanks to all of the teams that came, all the bracketed class teams that came, and prove that we can actually race in a major U.S. city, in a major city where there is so much of a maritime community here, sailing and motorboat community.
Well, the great thing too was all the people who were like, when's it start? Tell me more about it. You know, there's definite interest here. And it's just a matter of getting the word out a little more every time you come back to a venue.
Well, these reels are going to be all over the news channels tonight, this weekend here in Chicago. So we look at our winners from X Insurance South, the 47 Victory Hull. Bill Pyburn, Britt Lilly, victorious here today. Pro Class 1 boats powered by twin quad cam 4-valve Mercury turbocharged engines. QC4V engine. As Nick Buis and JJ Turk pass through with a happy second place finish here today.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't congratulate the X Insurance South and Dirty Money crews, led by, as we had mentioned, Bobby Adams and TJ Rand, because these boats don't run without a good team behind them. And at this point, you got to wonder if the other Class 1, Pro Class 1 boats are just saying, what do we have to do? Where'd these guys come from, and what do we have to do now to...
Well, you know the mettle of those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to work harder. And they you know,
and
they've
granted,
learned
there
so
were a
much.
couple of Class 1 boats that weren't here today, you know, that I'm sure they're home kind of watching this going, all right, we better step up our game.
And that's what racing's all about. It's about competition and
Let's see if they make a better throw to Britt this time.
Yeah, let's see if they do. He was just putting his X sign up in victory.
That's the X Insurance. There you go.
getting the checkered flag.
They need a rail down the center of that boat for him to hook his toes under. And then he can stand up there and wave the flag with some
And
stability.
here is Britt Lilly waving the checkered flag in victory here in Chicago for X Insurance South Dirty Money Racing Team.
I'm betting Bill's now feeling a little tired, now that the adrenaline is wearing off. But good for him. What a weekend. Well, with that orange top, it almost has a Chicago Bears color scheme to it. That's kind of appropriate.
So X Insurance North appears that they will end up on the podium. Let me take the mic here for a second. Let me do these calculations one more time, Eric, before we make an unofficial announcement.
We'll watch the X Insurance South boat idle in here. And I mean, if you look at that stepped seawall and imagine it as this event grows, the people that will be crammed onto that seawall to watch in the years to come. So hats off to Larry Blyle and his crew for making this race happen. There was some stubborn diligence that I'm sure needed to be applied to
So unofficially here from your broadcast table, we've got a tie for third place. X Insurance North would get 2 points for every boat it finished in front of today. And with 165, we'll finish in second behind X Insurance South's 2 100-point finishes. And Monster with 2/3 unofficially has 163. GC with a second and a third has 163. So that'll go to
second and fourth.
Today, fourth? Yes, technically fourth today. So it'll go to the tiebreaker, which I think will be the fastest around the track. So that will be determined here this afternoon. And the full results will be announced at Race World Offshore's results page, as well as on the World Professional Powerboat Race Association app. Download that. The victorious X Insurance South team now ready to head back to the wet pits. And 4 o'clock here, if you're in the Chicago area, the award ceremony will happen at the Marine Technologies hospitality trailer here in the dry pits, and everyone's welcome to attend. That's at 4 o'clock here this afternoon. Still lots going on this Labor Day weekend in Chicago. There's a jazz festival going on. There's a whole lot of stuff happening this weekend. And getting powerboat racing back to Chicago was one of them here on Lake Michigan today.
There's X Insurance helicopter flying over X Insurance South.
Been a fantastic day here in Chicago. We had a lot of people to thank here. Eric, that helped make this thing happen, and you mentioned it earlier, everyone from Race World Offshore, Larry Blyle, Rob Hartman, and Roderick Cox working diligently. Rick Lindsay and his team, Tommy Thomasy, helping to organize our live stream here this weekend with a bunch of amazing components, including Parker Lindsay, who is usually inside of the cockpit of the X Insurance Helicam. Neil Mellis fiddling for him there. Parker and his team were running master control from Sandy Lake, Utah for us this weekend. And the entire crew here with the X team, and including Jake and including Luke and Eric and Parker and Jack, of course Tristan and Steve in the pit reports, as we mentioned, Rick and Neil in the helicopter and helping us produce this race. J.W. Powell, my good friend from Key West, Florida, and Eric Cobley as well, my official cuz from the far remote place of Rhode Island,
Maine.
right? Maine, right? I couldn't remember. It's some cold place.
Yeah.
That a person from Key West would probably never go to, not very often. But you'll be following up with a story tomorrow on speedonthewater.com.
Yep. Yep, and then we'll be looking forward because it's going to start getting cold in Maine, so here comes Clearwater.
That's right, Clearwater at the end of September. He and I will be back with the entire team broadcasting and finishing up with the annual Race World Offshore World Championships the first week in November in Key West. Also want to thank locally the United States Coast Guard, the Chicago Police Department, Fire Department and EMS, the Chicago Parks and Life-Saving Outfit here, Race World Offshore Safety, SSR Rescue Team, 15 members of Sean Steinertz and J.R. Anderson that were deployed here and keeping all of our racers safe, our course marshal Randy Mearns, and all of the volunteers that helped us make this happen here in Chicago. A final look at our winners from the Dirty Money Race Team, X Insurance South, co-owned by Rick Lindsay and the X Insurance Sports Team, victorious here in Pro Class 1 this afternoon. From Chicago, thanks for joining us here at the X Insurance Sports YouTube channel, as well as Race World Offshore, to watch racing in Chicago. See you back here next year and in Clearwater at the end of September.